What's poppin' Durban eThekwini? I am your girl, Uma Q Mgoma. The Q in Q stands for Queen, of course. Welcoming you to the 031 Meg podcast. And of course, I'm handing it. It's Coco Samila, Shakil.
Period. My name is Shakil, aka King Keely, and I'll be taking you through lifestyle content.
Yes.
So what's popping, girl?
Yes. So as she said, Wuti, she's taking us through the lifestyle content. She'll be speaking everything music, street culture, food, beauty. As you can see,
Events.
she's looking gorgeous.
Yes.
Looking gorgeous, girl.
So
Tell me who did your beads.
So I did my makeup at the Glam Lounge. We're actually at the Glam Lounge on Florida Road. So if you want your face beats, here's your plug.
And shout out to Bonnie. She's the one that did our faces.
And
So shout out to Bonnie. Hey, we're looking cute, we're looking classy, and we're about to get it kicking. So with the 031 podcast, we've got so much more in store for you guys. I need you guys to take a chill pill, sit down, grab a drink, and watch us do our thing, man.
So I'm about to take you through the lifestyle content. We'll be speaking about the drip in KZN, the events, what's popping in nightlife, lifestyle, food, music, everything. So I'll be right back. Catch me around the block. Hey.
Get it, girl. While Shakil goes off, let me just tell you that we've got an amazing guest that we're about to have a chit chat with. Listen, she's going to tell us about the ins, the outs, the do's and the don'ts of the music industry. She's not only just an artist, she's also a DJ, a producer, and just, what would I say? A music connoisseur. It's not just about wine, baby. Listen.
So this week I'll be taking you through what happened in Durban last week. Shout out to the dancers from Culture and Movement Entertainment. They braced the stage at ITC for the GovTech events. Shout out to the dancers that covered the throwdown events as a tribute to Flex Okela, one of the pioneers of prompt and dance in Durban. Shout out to Drum Kit for holding it down, for hosting the events and curating and bringing dancers in Durban together. Coming up this week on Florida Road, we have the Denim and Shades event at Keys on Florida Road happening on the 25th of October. I will be one of your hosts, as well as Jodine Ogle, and Samantha will be a host. Shout out to Nico, DJ Nico, for curating the events. It's Denim and Shades, 25th of October, Keys on Florida Road. Be there. Next up, we have the Gagasi Beach Fest happening on the 6th of December. You know, the event happens annually every year. At Moses Mabhida, we have a jam-packed lineup, so don't forget to get your tickets at Ticket Pro. Back to Q in the studio.
Hey guys, Umbali Lona from the Glam Lounge in Florida Hills. So I'll tell you today about the tips of TGL. So here's one. For example, if you had just done a set of acrylic nails, well, I would advise you, Uhuti, why don't you do a rubber base instead? Because a rubber base is more softer on your nail and it won't be hard as acrylic. Acrylic, if you bang against something, you might get a cut on your nails. But with rubber base, it's much easier to work around with and it's much softer compared to acrylic. So that's the tip from me to you from the Glam Lounge.
Thank you so much, Mbali, for the Glam Corner tips. Listen, speaking of glam, let us call the Glam Lounge ladies to give us a little treat. But before they do that, let me introduce my guest, Namhlanje. We've got Artchild Afrika. She is an African rock star from in and out of South Africa. She's about to let us know. But she's not only just that. Artchild, welcome to the 031 Mag.
Thank you so much for having me. Boo, boo, boo.
Boo, 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 boo. Thank you so much for coming. As we here at the 031 Mag, can you just give us a little gist of who Artchild Afrika is and what she has in store for the 031 Mag?
Yeah, man, you don't have to talk on my pedicure.
Yeah, cool.
Yes,
I love. Yes,
okay, cool. Hi, Kamalam guys. My name is Artchild Afrika, the African rockstar egg 031. I'm a singer-songwriter, multi-award-winning choreographer, and creative director.
clock that. Speaking of like having so many aspects of the creative industry like under your belts, can you just tell us, Uguti, when did interest yakho for artistry like begin, and how you came to grow within the art and realize, actually, I don't just want to stick to one thing. I mean, if I can do this, I can do that and that and that and that.
Yeah, so my initial thing, art started off in high school, I should say. Ngaqala ngabona like Beyonce dance and all of those things, and before I go to school, open MTV Base and just start dancing. So it dance actually, the interest in it came before I even knew that I was interested in dance. I was just, copying them on TV. When I got to school, I used to do poetry, and I also used to paint in school. I did art in school, and then when I left school, I was introduced to a lady called Ulumka, where she scouted me off the street. I think I was just walking around the workshop. I was like, hey, can you dance? I'm like, oh, I think I can follow instructions. And then she's like, I'm calling to on Saturday, come through to the Stable Theatre and let's see what you got. And then that's how I got into the dance industry. And then as soon as you guys went a music video, we did a series of Big Nazi and then that's when I got introduced to Afrotainment, and then that's when the dance came in, and then I saw we come and then
that's how you grew. I mean, speaking of Glam, I do know that you also like did dabble in Glam a little bit. Tell us about how that came in, and what was the inspiration behind that, and looking at yourself now and how far you've grown within the industry. How much of a role did that play into creating Artchild Africa?
So I've always been passionate about the 031, and I'm so happy to be part of the 031 Mag. So I've always been inspired by the city. I think the 031 has a lot to offer, especially in terms of talent, creativity. All those things, the majority of the artists in South Africa come from the 031, and then unfortunately, obviously, we have to go to Joburg to find greener pastures because we don't have a structure in Durban set in place for our creatives. But I always wanted to at least put it on the map. Just how have you seen Americans wearing their flags and stuff? I always wanted to associate myself with the 031. So I also have the 031 movement, which is my dance academy. And then Durban, and like Durban means the 031. It's Durban in slang. That song was to showcase the 031. If you guys see the music video, actually any people mover, I'm in Uriksha, Zema Shamplane, I made Moses Mapida, the whole video and just centered around 031. So it's just a matter of being Gane Kulele in the 031 and that loves Ikas in the streets and the whole round culture of the 031.
I mean, not just eating pela, before we get deeper into it, I just want to bring the Glam Lounge squad. What we're gonna come up with, because it's not just about us, it's also about the beauty, the glam, and I need the people to see our ladies do their magic.
Okay. What are we about to do here? We're about to do some
pedicures. Okay, this is always I'm a pedicures. Okay, guys, so as we are at the Glam Lounge, they do offer different services. So right now, we're going to see our Glam Lounge ladies giving us a pedicure while we continue to have a chit-chat with Artchild here. So getting back into it, Artchild, so you were speaking about like Uguti, you are very inspired by the culture and inspired by eating. You're also from KwaMashu. Recently, like in the more recent days, I've seen a culture growing called the culture yom dance. Or I don't know if you've also seen it on your socials. The culture yom dance is actually growing. What do you think of that? Doing the thing. I recently saw Spotify, Mother of Music, also partnering up with a venue in KwaMashu, which is London. So what do you think of the upcoming culture corner, where it's getting just a little bit more embraced?
I'm actually very happy about that because KwaMashu, I feel like like abantu abaningi obviously abaqale Gomu khona abantu abanjengo okay baseMoriya but abantu abanjengo Road Boys abantu abanjengo or Distraction Boys about people that came from Gamashu that actually started this culture. They were one of the pioneers of the culture. So, and most of the revolution in social media when it comes to TikTok and trends and all those things. I think it's a good thing that it coming from Ikasi, coming from Utayela, which is also a genre of coming from Utayela, now being recognized as an official genre on Spotify and having brand and Spotify going into the hood to now support what we are doing. I think it's great because we do have an abundance of talents in Durban, which is why it's also hard for talent to get paid in Durban, which is a big issue in Durban, especially if you're coming from the township. It's like this is an art form that even Amanda Beyonce are copying. So I think it's important. And I'm very happy to see the movement happening. And
I love the fact that you touched on the culture of being underpaid and, well, not necessarily being underpaid, but mentioning the challenges that our artists are facing in terms of monetizing their talent and making like bread based off of talent. So do you think, because Durban has such an abundance of talent, people are not well versed as to how to monetize their talents and how to actually put it on paper and make the bread that it needs to make for them?
Yeah, and that's a huge problem in Durban actually. First of all, like I said, there's an abundance of talent. The artists can literally go on Instagram and say, what's the people like black for free. Our house I'll provide, I'll provide. Inyama futhi nakhona suke ngekho inyama mhlawumbe so ukuthi khona masavana nje mhlawumbe u3 yabo ogcwalana people like converts and no one's going to get paid there.
Oh guys,
you know what I mean?
I understand.
So
manje I'm so sorry to cut you off, guys. I am not laughing at what she's saying. I have sensitive feet. My feet are so sensitive.
Oh, it's ticklish.
It's ticklish, guys. Oh, it is. My feet are so sensitive. Oh my gosh, I need to calm down. Okay, cool. 3, 2, 1, back at it.
We're not gonna cut that, by the way. So
I mean, it's okay, you know, because they've got soft hands. I mean, their hands are soft, and you know, the person that's doing my feet, she's kind of cute, you know. Like but anyways, that's not where we are. We're keeping it PG-13, PG-12.
So I was saying in Durban there's an abundance. Artists post on Instagram and say please come to Bilogun and I'm gonna provide you with alcohol and food and you're just gonna come and dance. And kuzoqwala because there are not many opportunities there. And obviously if that can happen, that means they don't have to pay them. So whoever is asking for payment is at a disadvantage anyways. And when it comes to paperwork, most people in Durban, when it comes to like our street culture, it's we don't operate in paperwork. We don't know what an MOU is. We don't know what an invoice is. We don't have experience in that because Durban is so vast in terms of the talent. It's like it's easy to take advantage of the talent
people, true.
So I think our conversations like this have to happen in terms of in Durban especially because the culture, I realize with the culture here and in Joburg is completely different, which is why in Durban you can find an artist that is very famous but broke. And then you can find in Joburg artists that
not so famous, but they're making money off of the music and off of the arts, and that is such a very important aspect to consider. We see some of the people here in Durban, they prioritize fame over monetizing, over like making money. Some people prioritize fame, and local sometimes kyabalimaza in a sense that you know, when push comes to shove, I mean, like, you're not going to get paid just because Usman Ban bayagwazi. And then it becomes a little, I don't know, like, discouraging for our parents, like black people, especially in the black community, guys. I need to address this. Like, in the black community, especially with the older generations, they don't respect the arts because they see what's happening with our famous people. And it's so hard to now, as the newer generation, to pursue arts or pursue music because of how hard it is to monetize it. And our parents can see, and the people that are supposed to be like our support structure are always like aware, but when you want to be like so and so, but what is so and so doing for themselves? So especially in a place where talent is so vast and ligcwele everywhere. So what kept you going when being a black child, wanting to pursue arts and wanting to be in the industry, and having been in the industry for so long and still is in the industry? What has kept you going for so long?
Okay, so I think being self-sufficient is very important in Durban. You must do your research and you must have the passion for it.
Yeah.
I do everything for myself, from doing my own cover arts, artworks, my own logos. You have to first learn to manage yourself so you can understand the business, so they don't get kopegi. But I also do think it's not people people do chase fame, because fame, that's the dream, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like at the same time there's a responsibility that promoters and people in the higher powers have to have, in terms of artists, at least something set in paper. All the promoters have to have this, at least the minimum wage from an artist. Because you told Uguti umuntu is gonna come and perform or DJ at a place for free, just for drinks.
Yeah.
And that's not taking anyone anywhere. But I do commend the newer generation. They really are getting their bag.
They are,
and slowly but surely these things are being integrated. But growing up as a black child, as Nongawini, I was in and out of Ilogish, because I was in boarding school most of the time. So I was mainly independent thinking. So I think that's what helped me even be self-sufficient in the industry. Not because they weren't supportive, but they felt like art is something that's not sustainable. So that's why I ended up doing my honors in psychology. But then in university, when I used to study, and then whenever I take a break, I used to go to Afro, or I used to go perform. So it was still a part of my life, so I couldn't run away from it. So I feel like now this guy ends a man, to support our kids from an early age.
Yeah,
and try,
true.
so that you can be around when they need guidance.
True.
But yeah, for me it was a challenge at first, but now they are supportive. Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. I mean, they've seen the results. We've all seen the results. I mean, you've choreographed for like some international artists like Major Lazer and many more. Can you just tell us a little bit about how those collaborations came about?
So Igom at that time was on the rise, and I was one of the first dance pioneers that were pushing the dance at that time. So as I said, you would see my first gig was Serious, Big Nazi. The second one was, which was the one that landed me in Afritainment, was Yamandinto by Sindo, and then from then onwards I just saw a gap. There's no one actually managing the dance scene when it comes to Glam.
Yeah.
So I then started bringing together abantu ingane esidansayo, and then that's when O31 movement was born. And then when it came to Rudimental, and it was Rudimental, Mr. Easy, and Major Lazer, they were looking for a Glam choreographer for their song Let Me Live, which was shot in the UK, Nigeria, and Joburg. And the first person, obviously, when they go on the internet that they saw that had something structured, was O31 movement. And they gave me a call.
Yeah.
And then we went to Joburg and we got to meet Rudimental, Mr. Easy, Anne Marie. It was so much fun. And the things that the way they do things, I think it helped the dancers to see, this is where you set yourself apart when it comes to international gigs. So yeah, I was approached on Instagram because of already what I was doing in the industry. Already I had done Imemeza, Big Nazi, I had done Ipagisha, I had done, there's a lot that I had done. Imemeza, Ipagisha, Umvulo, which was my first big music video that I choreographed with my crew. Menastisi, there they go. Oh my gosh, the list is endless. And then Major Lazer, I did the Major Lazer Let Me Live, and I did the Major Lazer Utu Babes Wotuma, which is Orkanti. And then it opened more doors. Then I became the director for Combination MTV season 2. Called MTV season Combination season 1. I was the cast.
I remember Combinations. Like I used to come back from school and just tune in onto Combinations. It used to be the biggest thing, because Nami Pelong was saying we need Tanda, obvious. Like here we live and breathe Ikom. Like we understand the other genres, but we as like people that are born and bred, it's really like we live and we breathe Ikom. And it's so nice to now see it developing and it growing within the industry, where people are like now warming up to it, and people are now like commercializing it, because it took a lot of time for it to be commercialized.
Yeah.
So with that being said, like, can you just give us a little bit of insight to when you started off and then you were like, okay, this is what I'm doing, and I have cleaned it up and I've packaged it well, and now I'm expecting Uti, this is my word. Did you ever face any challenges with pricing? Obviously, because like as an industry in a whole in Durban, people don't like to pay.
They don't like to
People don't like to pay, my nigga.
They don't pay.
So did you ever face any challenges when you started being like, hey, All Movement is actually an establishment that needs to feed the people? So did you ever like have any inkinga when it came to that?
The only problems that I faced was when I was doing the local music videos for the local artists, because now at the end of the day,
Yeah.
so they're always trying to find a cheaper option, but the service spoke for itself. So ended up coming to a resolution. But when it came to bigger brands like Ola Films, like Believe Media, like Warner Brothers, like Red Bull, all those people paid beforehand.
Yeah.
So that's when I started focusing more on corporate, but also not leaving the streets in a way.
Yeah.
So music videos were putting us on the map, because the music videos were a huge thing back then. MTV Base, Channel O, Trace. We appeared in all those platforms, but then when it came to e-payment, it basically was hard. But I think now it's become better because ama dancers are more Latina. That I like the influences of today now. If you see the TikTok movement, and it's easier for them to request the fee.
Yeah.
But back then, when we were still starting,
so much harder back then.
I won't lie. I think the most that I got maybe in the beginning was like 300 rand. Now, corner, if I was lucky, it was free. Like you come perform for free, so I'd be like, see, now I go each other.
That is. It's nice to hear how far along we've come, because now, I mean, it's easier to funamarates. But now you've moved on into DJing. You've moved on into like your own greener pastures, where you're just Artchild Africa, the African rock star. Like, when it comes to DJing, when did you realize your passion? You're about DJ, and how well is it going so far?
Okay, so DJ, I was just trying to adapt. To be honest, it's a skill. Yeah, I like ingoma. I love playing music, and I like the whole thing of, getting people to dance, getting people to move. So in the DJ aspect in Durban, it's very hard for you to get booked, in a sense. Not even in a sense, it's hard for you to get booked. So I saw it as a female, what can I try that can help me put food on the table, you know what I mean? So I was like, let me go learn this new skill, see female DJs are on the rise. It was never something that I dreamt of doing, but when I did it, I actually started to like it. So I just wanted to adapt to the industry, to the culture, in order to get paid. But as of today, I think it's also one of my passions now.
Oh, absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. I mean, so far in your DJing career, like, what has been like your favorite crowd, or where has been your favorite crowd where you're like, about this event,
not to mention the brand, but it was the Paradise.
Yeah, okay. I see Paradise.
That happened at Ushaga. That was one of my first ever gigs, actually. Because imagine coming from a studio where you're learning in the classroom, and then you're going straight to a festival with like a huge crowd. So it was that, and I really enjoyed playing at Mkize Rooftop, Kwamashu. Yeah, that was dope.
I mean, the crowd Kwamashu is always on to dance. I mean, like, we love Kwamashu and the culture that has been growing there. And beautifully enough, you are from Kwamashu, so you've been experiencing that almost your whole entire life. I mean, like, how much of an influence did culture Kwamashu play into you becoming Artchild Africa?
So culture Kwamashu played a major role in my upbringing, because it's an amazing community till this day. I was born and bred there until this day in Kelakona, and Namanje, Omakhelwane are like sisters, they're like brothers, they're like nje angisabi nje ukuba khona kamash. Mina kaze okay ngigqekezele last year kuphela but sekungazala because I was gonna say kusangikaze ngigqekezele but sengakhumbula futhi umuntu engimaziyo
kumuntu omaziyo
wafika wayiboleka leyo nto leyo ngathi mina anginayo wafika wangenisa ingane ewindini wayithathele so it's like but besides that besides that for me it's never been a community where I'm like scared I can walk around at any time lapha ama-section ke ngizwe angazi but mina ngasekhaya I won't lie the culture is amazing there's togetherness even till this day when I'm on TV ngizwe ngabo sebeqhumisa i-volume shame it was amazing but I didn't just grow up Kamash I went to 7 different primary schools
yay 7 can you awuchaze ke 7 ukuthi manje like which ones and where
I went to the first primary school I went to was Hillcrest Christian Academy, which is now called Curo, but back then it was 1999, I think.
Yay!
I was there from crash to grade 3. Then I went to Paul Sykes Primary in Newlands. Then I went to Park Hill in Pinetown. Then I went to my mom's school for like a week. And then I went to Putuman Ngagamashu. And then I went to New Germany Primary, which was in New Germany for grades 6 and 7. And then gay high school, luckily, it was just a Pinetown girls for the whole time.
I mean, like you've been around there, you've been around the block, so you've gotten to experience different, like, well, it's the same culture, but different communities and different places, like la eThekwini in the O31, just to show ukuthi iThekwini likhulu lincane but likhulu. Like you know one thing we always say ukuthi iThekwini lincane mawukuthi you've seen someone, because one thing about Durban, the culture about Durban is if I see you today and we like have a conversation, every other time I'm gonna bump into you somewhere. That's when we say iThekwini. But when you mention all of the places and like what's the 031 actually like, you know, has like who's mningi imphakathi and sibaningi siyithe kubafethu, hence the abundance of talent and the abundance of, you know, abantu baningi coming from everywhere, going everywhere. So yeah, man.
Okay, thank you so much, ladies. I think they're done. Wow, my feet look amazing.
They feel so soft too.
Yeah,
ticklish but soft. It's been so nice. Their hands are very soft, glamorous, and qale ngahleke eqaleni but ngibonile as time iyajwayeleka lento yazini zijwayezeni guys, get used to it, get used to nice things. Come to the Glam Lounge, get your feet done, get your hands done, you know. Ngibonile nami ukuthi I'm a bit rough around the edges. But as time went by, thank you so much, Glam Lounge Squad. It felt so amazing. My feet feel absolutely soft. Thank you so much also Artchild Africa for joining us on the 031 Mag podcast.
Thank you.
And yeah, man, let's keep it rolling.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Bye.
Bye.
What's good, everybody? It's Shaquille, aka King Keely. Shout out to Q in the studio. I'm out here at Florida Road, Times Square, around the block. We're tasting dessert from Lockma Desserts. So I'm about to taste the flavor of the week from Lockma Desserts here on Florida Road. So let's get tasting. This is the Nutella ice cream. Okay, let's give it another taste. This is actually good. This is so good. Shout out to Lockma Desserts on Florida Road.